They tried resuscitating him, taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead.
Walked in, the doctor pulled me aside and said, "Hey, your buddy here has destroyed his body, the inside of some of his intestines." I don't mean to be an egomaniac, but I mean, I could actually wrestle anybody at that time and sell out. We sold out everywhere constantly.
On the morning of July 24th, 2025, the unthinkable happened. Emergency calls were made from Hulk Hogan's Clearwater, Florida home. Paramedics arrived to find the wrestling icon unresponsive and struggling to breathe. In a moment that now lives in viral infamy, video footage leaked from a neighbor's phone showing Hogan being rushed on a stretcher, while first responders attempted chest compressions and resuscitation. His once mighty frame appeared frail, his face pale, and despite every effort, he was later pronounced dead at a local hospital. This wasn't just the fall of a man, it was the collapse of a cultural monument. The video tore through the internet, turning whispers of his deteriorating health into a global shockwave. The last known moments, leaked recordings, raise questions. The leaked footage has triggered more than grief. It's raising serious questions about what really happened in Hogan's final hours. What was initially thought to be a natural cardiac arrest may now have more layers than anyone expected. Observers noted how paramedics appeared to be treating more than just a heart issue, administering respiratory interventions and showing signs of urgency that suggested something acute and catastrophic had occurred. Did something go wrong medically in the days or hours before? Or was this a gradual buildup ignored or missed by doctors? The leaked footage is now central to an ongoing conversation about what truly caused Hogan's final breath. The man behind the myth. What Hogan's final interviews revealed. Just days before his death, Hulk Hogan appeared in what would become some of his final interviews, on podcasts with Theo Von and Patrick Bet-David. These weren't just promotional stops, they were intimate, vulnerable, and filled with revelations. He talked about the physical pain that haunted him daily, from broken vertebrae to fused hips. He also opened up about his spiritual transformation, sharing a mystical experience at his father's deathbed, where he believed he felt his father's soul leave his body. Hogan reflected on his regrets, his love for his children, his marriage to Sky Daily, and his attempts to live authentically after decades of performing as a character larger than life. These interviews now serve as an unintentional eulogy, a man reckoning with legacy, mortality, and faith. A life of pain. Hogan's health. Battles were mounting. Fans saw the performer. What they didn't always see was the pain. In the last 12 years alone, Hulk Hogan underwent over 25 major surgeries, from spinal fusions to knee and hip replacements. He spoke often about his daily battles, being unable to brush his teeth without leaning on the sink, or struggling to open a simple door. His body, once worshipped, had become a prison of scar tissue and nerve damage. Despite his upbeat appearances, those close to Hogan reported that he was often exhausted, sometimes even disoriented. In May 2025, just 2 months before his death, he underwent a neck procedure that some now believe may have contributed to his respiratory collapse. Surgical complications. Was there medical negligence? Sources within Hogan's circle have alleged that during his last neck surgery, a crucial nerve was severed, possibly the phrenic nerve, which helps control the diaphragm and breathing. If true, this would mean Hogan may have slowly been losing his ability to breathe in the weeks following the surgery, culminating in the catastrophic cardiac event. An occupational therapist who treated him in his final days has reportedly told family members that Hogan had extreme difficulty breathing, far beyond typical post-op symptoms. These revelations have led some to suspect medical negligence, a theory that has now fueled calls for a full investigation into the true cause of death. The family speaks out, demanding answers and justice. Hogan's daughter, Brooke Hogan, has made her grief public, but so too has she voiced her suspicion that the story the world has been told isn't the full truth. She is reportedly delaying cremation, demanding access to medical records, 911 calls, and even body cam footage from police and paramedics who were on the scene. The Clearwater Police Department has since confirmed that an official investigation is underway. For now, the Hogan family and millions of fans are left in limbo, waiting for confirmation on whether the death of one of wrestling's greatest icons was a tragic end or a preventable mistake. A cultural icon who transcended wrestling. To understand the weight of Hogan's passing, one must recognize what he represented. Hulk Hogan wasn't just a wrestler. He was the face of an era, from slamming Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3 in front of 93,000 fans, to headlining 8 of the first 9 WrestleManias, to starring in cartoons and Hollywood films. Hogan became a global ambassador of American pop culture. He shaped fashion, language, and even attitudes. His train "say your prayers and eat your vitamins" mantra was gospel to an entire generation. Beyond the controversies and character turns, he remained a symbol of perseverance and American bravado. Equal parts superhero and everyman. The reinvention. From hero to villain and back again. Perhaps Hogan's most remarkable skill was his ability to reinvent himself. When fans grew tired of his clean-cut persona in the 1990s, he shocked the world by turning heel and forming the New World Order, NWO, a move that reignited interest in wrestling and made him the most hated man in the industry. Then, like all great wrestlers, he turned babyface once again, regaining love from fans who never stopped chanting his name. This dynamic adaptability allowed him to remain relevant for nearly 50 years, a feat almost unmatched in entertainment history. The footage of his final moments now stands in tragic contrast to the man who once stood tall in every arena he entered. The spiritual awakening. Hogan's final beliefs. As Hogan aged, his focus shifted away from fame and into faith. He spoke passionately in his later interviews about discovering spirituality, feeling divine presence, and preparing for life beyond the physical. His marriage to Sky Daly was rooted in shared religious beliefs, and friends say he often spoke of leaving the past behind and focusing on being a better man. His experience with his father's death seemed to trigger a philosophical transformation, and he carried that into his own final chapter. These beliefs offered comfort to him and to those now mourning his loss, that perhaps this wasn't the end, but a transition to something beyond. The final recordings. A mirror of fame and fragility. In a digital age where every moment is documented, the last images of Hulk Hogan are now burned into public memory. They show a man no longer immortal, but deeply human, vulnerable, mortal, and in distress. Juxtaposed with his final interviews, those moments create a complex narrative about celebrity, mortality, and privacy. Fans are left with mixed emotions: gratitude for his life, heartbreak at his death, and discomfort at seeing it unfold so publicly. Yet perhaps those last recordings are the most honest representation of Hulk Hogan, a man who gave everything, his body, soul, and spirit, to entertain, to inspire, and to believe in something bigger than himself.